Wow, I can't begin to tell you how bad this update is. I don't even have a script for this one. I have scripts for other videos, but this one I am absolutely appalled. So, the Warrior Secession is a terrible thing, and this is really that's just barely telling you what it is, because first off, it is absolutely inferior to Awakening in 1v1, in Siege, in large-scale PvP, in basically large-scale anything, honestly. It's actually inferior because of how it works, and then if you want to see clips of the PvE that it has, I can show you a lot of the nonsense that goes through on into this secession bullshit, so bear with me for a while. So what exactly is secession, you ask? It's the concept that Pearl Abyss decides to take from their mobile version of Black Desert and place it into the PC version. You can probably already guess why that doesn't work, but to explain in detail on why Warrior Secession doesn't work is because they've dumbed down the class entirely. There is no canceling potential here at all. It's just raw damage numbers. It's nothing. Nothing is intuitive. It's just press button 1, press button 2, press button 3. Dunzo, you're good. Wow, amazing job. Our identity as warriors is gone. This is a joke, honestly. Jesus. Alright, before I begin, I'm gonna have to tell everyone that everything that you've seen of Charging Thrust doing all that multi-thrust thing that you can go through like miles away, that thing is probably most likely a bug. It's pretty much stuck to Solar Flare's cooldown, so if Solar Flare is on cooldown in Secession mode, you can't actually do that multi-thrust thing. It's like something went wrong there. I think they were testing that Charging Thrust thing, and they just gave up on it halfway and didn't release that with Secession. So if you are expecting to do that multi-thrust thing within the following weeks, let me tell you this, don't get your hopes up. It's most likely gonna be removed. And if they remove it, Secession, from my rating, will drop down from a 3 to a 4 to a flat out 2. You will not want to use Secession at all without Charging Thrust skill. Like, that Charging Thrust buff is so very important to the success of this Secession skill phase that if you remove this feature that you see from everyone's streams, from everyone's videos, Secession will completely die off for Warrior as an option entirely, because if you take out this one mobility move from the kit, you have nothing. You are a sitting duck waiting to die, waiting for things to happen. And that's just disappointing. You are just waiting for your death the moment you use Charging Strike. That's your only escape, your only engage, your only option for anything movement related with this Secession thing. Let me just set this straight right now. Charging Thrust is your main mobility. If you lose it, you die. So the thing you're seeing here is the change to Secession skill. Once you click this button, you cannot activate Awakening at all. You'll get this whole entire new skill set, as you can see, but once you activate it, Awakening is completely blanked out. You cannot touch it at all at any point in time unless you de-invest in every skill possible. You also remove every ability to use absolute or ultimate skills. I don't know what happens there, but it's kind of like it all gets combined in Secession mode. As you can see, the / cannot be cancelled anymore. Even if you don't rank /, it can't be used as a cancel anymore. So you can't use it at all. Think of the implications of this. You cannot use a vital warrior cancel that is prevalent in every scenario, and now it's gone. You are relegated to just using Chopping Kick and Shield Charge, both of which are even worse off cancels than / itself because of its versatility. It's a factor that you have to really need to actually be able to cancel things in pre-awaken, and now it's gone. They gave us a Redux version in the Secession skill page. It's /, but it's not what you think it is. It's / in of itself without the cancel. They increase the range of the move and the mobility part of it, as well as the damage part of it, but the fact that it's not a cancel anymore makes it less useful than ever before, even though they buff the damage numbers. This is an essential problem with this kit that you're about to find out with every single thing that you see here in the Secession kit for Warrior. It's mainly just damage numbers, and they just try to dumb it down as much as possible. There's nothing that really screams Warrior except big damage. That's all it says on the paper, on everything that you see. It's just big damage. There's nothing to it. Next up, we have the Shift E for Warrior Succession. This buff will give you 20 damage reduction, 15% accuracy rate, and 15% evasion rate. This is what you get in exchange for 30% attack speed. Quite honestly, I think it's a terrible trade-off because attack speed is the lifeblood of a warrior. Without it, you can't exactly do any combos at all. But this is what you get when you turn to Succession. You turn to something that is slow, rugged, and basically non-existent in fighting at all. This is a support class. First and foremost, the abilities, the CC, and the mobility. The fact that they even thought to give us a 15% evasion rate buff is beyond my comprehension because we don't use evasion. Warrior is not an evasion class. The fact that just boggles my mind. I don't understand that. Why can't we just have a flat out damage reduction buff instead of this 20 DP bullshit? In any case, this is a very interesting take on the Shift E skill, but I am sad to say that because you don't get the 30% attack speed buff from your Shift E, you're going to have to rely on your Z buff all the time. You will never be able to fully utilize your spinning / ultimate skill. Don't charge it. You should always use the Z buff so you can get the extra bonus attack speed buff that you're missing out on. Our next skill is a new passive that passively increases our DP values. This is basically an advanced fitness training similar to the one in the pre-awakening kit, but now we get 15 bonus DP once you rank it all the way up. The funny thing here, though, is that this doesn't actually give you more DP than Awakened, because through our passive buff boosts from Merciless, or really even Moxie, even Hilt Strike, when we activate that we get a bonus 20 DP. This doesn't actually cover it. In fact, we lose 5 total DP. Granted, you don't have to keep track of this one passive boost, but the fact is that you lose 5 DP overall. I believe through their thought process that the Shift E will basically give us more DP overall, but that's not really how it works because we can keep up our 20 DP passive in Awakened at all times, but that 20 DP from a Shift E is just once every 3 minutes. That doesn't really work. This is what I mean by a slow and simply unintuitive playstyle. Look, this is Scars of Dusk. There's nothing new besides the fact that it does more damage. The animation is the same. They just decided to make it flashier. The only thing that's different, though, is the last hit on... the last hit will down smash. The last hit. Anyone that's played Warrior, even in Shadow Arena, knows that getting the last hit is basically impossible. Impossible if you just bound them. You have to have a knockdown ready, or just hope that they're a potato. I don't see how you ever landing the down smash unless you are with a teammate or a party member that is already knocking someone down and you're capitalizing on that situation. This is Heavy Strike. What you see here is something that is completely useless in any scenario. There are some fancy schmancy gimmicks you can do with this new Pulverize skill, but man, This skill cannot be cancelled anymore. You can't use forward slash to cancel it, you can't use chopping kick to cancel it, you can't use shield charge to cancel it. What is it used for? It barely does damage. It doesn't even have protection. It doesn't even down smash. What did they do? They increased the AoE, I guess. And next up we have Shield Strike! God, who's balancing this shit? Like, seriously, who's doing this shit? Next up we have our all-time favorite Spinning Slash. This is the succession variant of Spinning Slash, but there is no cancel. It removes the cancel completely. You can't force a cancel through because the wind-up time is simply far too long for it to be cancelled properly. However, you do gain super armor if it is not on cooldown. It also gets something that every warrior wanted to make it viable, a down attack modifier. The fact that you didn't get down attack modifications to it before this succession update made it so worthless in PvP as a finisher skill, but with this actually changes the damage up for a single, and I mean a single Spinning Slash. Do not expect to cancel properly with this, do not expect to finish anyone off of this. Why? Because it's simply far too slow for you to use properly. If you try to use Whirlwind Strike, that animation is also slowed down by the fact that this wind-up animation just kills off everything. You basically exchange 1 second of damage for 1 second of super armor. Is it worth it? I would say no. This skill may need further testing for any brave soul trying to use succession successfully, but I will respect that notion because Spinning Slash is one of our most beloved skills in our kit, and I hope to all means that you make this thing viable. What better way to follow up Spinning Slash than with Ground Smash? The two are basically interchangeable at this point because of how they've always interacted with like Ground Smash to Spinning Slash cancel and all that jazz, but we should all be happy that nothing changed the Ground Smash. It is very much cancelable. It even got a buff by subtracting 1 second to its cooldown time. Also, Ultimate Ground Smash got its cooldown halved, and it's also super armor. Hooray! Hey, it's actually one of the better things for them from this update, the fact that they didn't change anything and just flat out gave it buffs. That's the best part about this skill. While you do lose bound effect from Ultimate Ground Smash, this is a very acceptable change because it doesn't need to be bound, it needed to be protected, and this was, quite honestly, one of the best skill updates so far if you wanted to go to Succession. I wouldn't tell you to go to Succession just because of this skill though, so hold your horses. Ground Slash, the love child of Kisuto and Sensei. In any case, this skill was more or less a meme around the warrior circle because of its feasibility in combos. It's only workable if you use Lingering Crit on it, and in the pre-awakened stage, it wasn't exactly any great at all. It's more or less a joke skill. But in Succession, this is going to be your main damage dealer. Because of how it works, it has increased damage. Its projectiles start shooting off every 3 seconds, and it also includes a minus 20 DP debuff. It is a super ranged projectile that debuffs and also does damage. Plus, it stiffs off cooldown. Always remember to Lingering Crit this skill. Make sure to always do that, or else it's going to be just shit for damage. I want to really like the counter that's given to us at the Succession stage, but there's a bit of a problem with it. First off, well, The float seems to be really iffy on this skill, and the damage seems to still be bugged out for some occasions, so that has to be sorted out as quickly as it can be, because counter's damage has always been bugged if you used it with Force Slash, and you're basically forced to use Force Slash in succession counter. As you can see, the range of this skill is simply amazing. Nothing could compare except Spear. Our piercing spear did the same exact thing, except it didn't stiff every 14 seconds. But for this counter skill, you can clearly see that it floats every 3 seconds, and it is so ranged. The only downside is that it still needs to be charged, so you have to keep in mind that it's not exactly too viable if you're the one getting focused, but in a party scenario, you are very much a reliable CC bot from the backline, as well as supporting your backliners with just all the utility you just had. Your Force Slashes from Ground Slash, your ranged counter that is beyond my imaginations that they could buff it that much, but it's pretty good, not gonna lie. Last but not least is Grapple. I don't really need to explain anything about how it got changed besides the fact that it got exactly what we wanted, except it's locked in succession. We get super armor on our grapple move, which is very good, but it's still locked behind succession. You can also add the 10% grapple boost success rate that we just got too, but the main appeal here is that it got super armor. That is so good. It is beyond my imagination about how good that is, but again, it's locked behind succession. And because it's locked behind succession means that it's worthless in the end. Oh, also it has a 1 second cooldown decrease, so you can have that, but you still have to realize that instant grapple is your main priority here, and because they didn't decrease instant grapple timing too, this little change won't help anything at all. This 1 second cooldown is worthless. But super armor, so hey, go ham with it. See how you like it. If it comes to live servers like this, imagine they remove it out of spite for us. Just that's disgusting. I would kill off succession in one fell swoop. The final two skills are Solar Flare and Pulverize. These two skills from Awakening give us a bit of leeway because Pulverize, as its intended use is to give us some extra HP in the meanwhile, it's actually our only form of sustain in this succession skill set. It's like we don't even have Tempest to go along with Pulverize, so it's kind of a misnomer that this will keep you alive. We lost survivability in this kit, but this Pulverize is going to give us a little bit of that extra survivability back. Oh, it won't be enough though, so don't expect Pulverize to ever save you. It has a very nice animation though, and it can cancel. It doesn't really cancel, it just transitions smoothly. It's super armor as opposed to frontal guard, so you're gonna have to get adjusted to that, because you won't be protected from incoming damage. You're just going to be protected from CCs only. As for Solar Flare, it works exactly the way you think it would, but not exactly, because it can't be cancelled. There is no way to cancel Solar Flare in succession mode. It's animation locked, except by the fact that it transitions smoothly only into Grapple. It's like an insult to us. It's like they tried to dumb down the mechanic of Solar Flare, cancel, into Balance Strike, into C-Swap, into even just to Grapple. They even removed the fast-paced operations of this. It's technically the timing is the same, but other people would argue otherwise. You could say that it's different, but the timing difference is so minuscule that Solar Flare to Grapple is a very, very decent engage overall. But if you're doing this in succession, be warned that many players might be able to react to your grapples. And if they react to your grapples, then you're just as good as dead, my friend. So how do I feel about Awakening versus Succession? I think Succession is absolute utter dogshit garbage. You shouldn't pick this Succession route. This is a simple cash grab. Once you go Succession, you're gonna realize it's shit. And once it's shit, after your timing is gone with the Armstrong reset coupon, you're gonna buy more just to reset it to go back to Awakening. This Succession bullshit is... So far, the release of it is just terrible for Warriors. I'm sure other classes' Succession will be better than this, but I can't say for sure what they're gonna do. They're trying to dumb down this game so goddamn much that I can't even begin to explain what they're trying to do with the Warrior class. Because from the very basics, I can see that they're most likely just trying to remove all reliance on FPS, which is a very good thing, of course, but they're doing it the wrong way. They're just making everything dumb, like simple dumb. They're not making anything innovative. They're just making everything press button 1, press button 2, press button 3, like Mystic, Witchards, and even God forsaken knows, like these shy creatures, these shy creatures I've never even seen in my life because I don't play BDO. I quit long ago before this nonsense happened. Well, that's really it for our rant. I'll just go over the charts that I have on me. Basically, Warrior Succession is terrible in 1v1 scenario because you've lost all sense of mobility and cancels. You've given up every notion of defense as well. So if you try to do anything, you're only risking your life for that one grapple, and that's it. That's it. That you only get that one grapple, and that's it. You have no other way of getting them unless they're dumb enough to get close to you at a point in time where they can't just range you down with ranged CC. They'll get you every single time because of how slow and immobile you are. For like T2s, T3s, RBFs, Siege, Open World, terrible. PvE, the only PvE we've seen recently has been subpar at best, but that can't be judged until that comes to live servers. But from what I've seen, it's not very good at all. The one thing I can guarantee you, though, is that this Succession skill set will excel in 3v3s to 5v5s. It's the perfect support kit. You've forsaken any notion of becoming a warrior, of becoming anything like the past Goyen brothers with their greatswords, and you've become this sort of hybrid, in-between, bullshit, not even tank-ish thing that you're just a walking truck of damage. That's all you are. You're like a striker, but something even worse, because you can't even move around. You're just this little tiny thing. I don't know how to explain it. I just know that once you try it, once you actually get a feel for it, you'll realize that this Succession bullshit is just trash. This shouldn't even exist in the first place. Once this arrives to the live servers, they'll call it a day. That's it. It's over. There are not going to be any more warrior buffs. If you support this, then I'm sorry, but you should just re-roll. This is it. If you want to play warrior like this, give up on this game. I don't recommend it at all. It's not what you would call a warrior. It's something else. It's like a striker clone, but worse. Far, far, far worse. And I am disappointed in the fact that this even came to the game at all. This is BDO PC version, for God's sake. This isn't the mobile version. Stop forcing it down our throats. I don't know anymore. In any case, you can always just stick to Awakening. They're not gonna strip us of any Awakening skills. It's just a choice. And I must say, it is a very terrible choice, and you should never pick this. Unless you're some kind of experimental guy who just just loves to get going into the unknown and the wild, of course. But hey, that's your choice, not mine. I am simply giving you advice. Nothing more, nothing less. And that is my own personal opinion about how terrible this thing is. You can always formulate your own opinion. I'm not here to influence you in any way. I'm just here to tell you that this is my opinion and that this warrior succession is just trash. Hey, but that's enough ranting for, well, forever, because I'll probably hard quit after this video. I don't know. I mean, I already soft quit already because I just didn't enjoy the game anymore. The only reason I'm still working on this video because I had an obligation to every warrior out there. I just hope that everyone had a fun time with whatever they were doing as a warrior, and I just do try my best to make sure everyone gets informed. Well, maybe not on time, but like eventually, of course. But yeah, as you can see, your pearl money is not wasted on balancing, don't you worry. Who knows what the hell they're doing with it. It's not like they're trying to hire Megan Fox and do an advertisement with them or something like that. Ah, Big Baddie, Chatty Daddy. Mechon 1 is the best warrior in all of NA. Well, I can't wait to eat your ass tonight. I think you have the wrong number. This is Haley's father. I don't want to receive another message like that again. Please be more careful. Nah, man, I got the right number. I want to eat your ass. My wife's leaving in half an hour. How fast can you be here? Daddy. Aim Star is the best star in the sky.